5.2.
The ticket inspector touched my arm. "Listen," he said, "when we get to Peterborough station, run as fast as you can to platform 1. The Leeds train will be there." I looked at him without really understanding what he had said. "What do you mean?" I said. "Is the train late or something?" "No, it's not late," the ticket inspector said. "I've just radioed Peterborough station. The train is going to wait for you. As soon as you get on, it'll leave. The passengers will complain, but let's not worry about that. You'll get home, and that's the main thing." And he walked away. I suddenly realised what an amazing thing he had done. I got up and went after him. I wanted to give him everything I had, all the money in my wallet, but I knew he would be offended. I grabbed his arm. I just wanted to, but I couldn't continue. "It's okay," he said, "no problem." "I wish I had a way to thank you," I said. "I really appreciate what you've done." "No problem," he said again. "Listen, if you want to thank me, the next time you see someone in trouble, help them. That will pay me back. And tell them to do the same to someone else. It'll make the world a better place." When the train stopped, I rushed to platform 1, and sure enough, the Leeds train was there waiting. And a few hours later, I was with my mum in hospital. Even now, years later, whenever I think of her, I remember the good ticket inspector on that late-night train to Peterborough. It changed me from a young man who was nearly a criminal into a decent human being. I've been trying to pay him back ever since then.
5.3.
If I'd known about the meeting, I would have gone.
If James hadn't gone on that training course, he wouldn't have met his wife.
You wouldn't have lost your job if you hadn't been late every day.
Would you have gone to the party if you'd known Lisa was there?
5.4. 1.
If I'd known you were ill, I would have come to see you.
2.
If the weather had been better, we would have stayed longer.
3.
If I hadn't stopped to get petrol, I wouldn't have been late.
4.
We would have missed our flight if it hadn't been delayed.
5.5. 1.
It would have been much quicker if we'd taken a taxi.
2.
She wouldn't have found out if you hadn't told her.
3.
The tickets would have been cheaper if we'd booked them earlier.
4.
If you hadn't done your homework so quickly, you wouldn't have made so many mistakes.
5.
I would have lent you some money if you'd asked me.
5.6.
Apart from the hockey players, he also gives the examples of the Beatles, the most famous rock band of all time, and Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. The Beatles were really lucky to be invited to play in Hamburg in 1960. The club owner who invited them normally only invited bands from London. But on one trip to the UK, he met an entrepreneur from Liverpool who told him that there were some really good bands in that city. When the Beatles arrived in Hamburg, they had to work incredibly hard. They had to play for up to 8 hours a night in the club, 7 nights a week. As John Lennon said later, "We got better and we got more confidence. We couldn't help it with all the experience we got from playing all night long in the club." By 1964, when they became really successful, the Beatles had been to Hamburg 4 times and had already performed live an estimated 1,200 times, far more than many bands today perform in their entire careers. Bill Gates's huge stroke of good luck came in 1968, when the high school he was at decided to spend some money they'd been given on a computer. This computer was kept in a little room that then became the computer club. In 1968, most universities didn't have a computer club, let alone schools. From that time on, Gates spent most of his time in the computer room, as he and his friends taught themselves how to use it. It was my obsession, Gates says of those early high school years. I skipped athletics, I went up there at night, we were programming at weekends. It would be a rare week that we wouldn't get 20 or 30 hours in. So Gates was unbelievably lucky to have access to a computer, but of course he also put in all those hours of practice, too. Talent, Gladwell concludes, is obviously important, but there are many talented people out there. What makes just a few of them special is that they are lucky and that they put in far more hours of practice than the rest.
5.7. Word building. Making adjectives and adverbs.
Luck. Lucky. Unlucky. Luckily. Unluckily.
Fortune. Fortunate. Unfortunate. Fortunately. Unfortunately.
Comfort. Comfortable. Uncomfortable. Comfortably. Uncomfortably.
Patience. Patient. Impatient. Patiently. Impatiently.
Care. Careful. Careless. Carefully. Carelessly.
5.8. 1,
The beach was beautiful, but unfortunately it rained almost every day.
2,
My new shoes are very comfortable. I wore them for the first time yesterday and they didn't hurt at all.
3,
He did the exam quickly and carelessly, and so he made lots of mistakes.
4,
We were really unlucky. We missed the flight by just 5 minutes.
5,
Jack is a very impatient driver. He can't stand being behind someone who is driving slowly.
6,
It was a bad accident, but luckily nobody was seriously hurt.
7,
It was raining, but fans waited patiently in the queue to buy tickets for tomorrow's concert.
8,
The roads will be very icy tonight, so drive carefully.
9,
The temperature dropped to -10 degrees, but fortunately we were all wearing warm coats and jackets.
10,
The bed in the hotel was incredibly uncomfortable. I hardly slept at all.